Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. About to get into game number 4. Sorry there, Spawn.
That's all right. I was just dodging. Continue.
Okay. I'll go, tongue-tied again. AV taking up game number 3. It's now 2-1.
Certainly
and they
is.
pulled back 2 games already, Spawn.
And if you had have told me this morning, Fish, when you got out of bed, that, you know, AV are going to absolutely destroy Sin through the middle of the map, and that Jake is going to outperform that man on your screen, Rogue, as comprehensively as he has been able to.
What is he doing?
I would have told you to go back to bed, because you're still dreaming for some reason. But however, it has come through. The mid lane and support of Avant Gaming have shown up to play today. The rest of their team, they were a little bit sluggish out of the gate, Fish. But they're starting to believe as well. They're starting to pull it together, and AV now go to match point versus Sin.
They certainly do. Triple as well is having a field day in the mid lane.
Oh, the double bans.
Woo! Lucian and Corky.
Spicy.
I mean...
What else has he got? Maybe he's just been auto-filled into AD all week, and he actually can't play a mid lane mage anymore. Maybe that's why he's been playing so much Lucian and Corky.
I mean, potentially. We'll have to see what he decides to pick up. Rakan's the final ban from AV. Nothing else has changed. Gragas, as well as Jay, still taken off the table. At least final ban from Sim. But again, my goodness. Triple. He's just the kryptonite to Roma every time they play against each other.
It certainly is. I love watching Triple play playoff League of Legends.
Yes.
He is an incredibly consistent man, and when others' form drops, he seems to elevate for some reason.
We just saw Juves on your screen there. He has had a good series. He's not made too many mistakes. No. He's getting his team ahead, doing his job.
He did have a Juves combo. He QD'd someone.
One QE.
Yeah, but that's all right. Goes back to the Jarvan. That's not going to rattle him.
Nope.
He's had a good hard look in the mirror, Fish. He's been here before.
He's seen what the outcome of the next 2 games are going to be. He knows, but game number 4, match point to AV.
Syndra blind very early on into a brawl.
Yeah. Wow.
All right. They're just really confident in him, apparently.
When Triple steps up, he looks good. Blinky's been playing well as well. Everyone from AV doing incredibly well individually. Even Siri stepping up. They're going to pick up Alistar nice and early as well.
The jungle bans start flying out now. I think you get rid of Maokai straight away if you're Sin.
Sybil's had good games in the champion.
Yeah, it certainly has. Had a shocker on Zach. Sejuani is also the other one that you can get rid of. So maybe he feels that he can get through on, you know, Sejuani. That's weird. All right, let's talk about that later. Sejuani, Zach, Maokai. So there are still 3 top-tier junglers left available.
Yep. But Galio picked up for Roma. Is that throwing in a towel? We're like, well, you've got me laning phase. I'll just pick the wave clear. I don't die to Magic champions.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it could be Dokal's champion, which would be incredibly surprising. But I think that it's not throwing in the towel. I think it's recognition that he needs to do more in team fights. And I think that there is the potential that Galio does do more in team fights than what Syndra is able to do. Syndra obviously has the delete button, but that might not get through if they're able to lay a CC well enough onto Triple.
So Renekton and Zac are the 2 bans from
Sejuani is
Sin.
going to be the jungle pickup. Unless Sin takes Sejuani as well.
I mean, they could take Maokai as well if AV want. That's still available.
That's true. They just leave both of them up. I can't believe they've actually banned Zac there.
Dokla gets a nah.
Jace, Fiora, nah. All right, Dokla.
Ooh, that's a Cogmore for FBI. With the Braum, with the Galio. Slight
Throw
protection
a Shen
coming
on
out
top
for
of
him.
it.
Yeah, throw in a Shen. Really
This is actually really risky because all of a sudden if you get Sejuani as well as, I don't know, pick a random top laner like Kled. Let's say Kled. So you get Sejuani Kled here in the team fight. You have so much potential to just absolutely, for lack of a better term, bum rush the Cogmore and just blow him up. You're going to get in on top of that Cogmore very, very easily. Fish.
Here comes the Zerglings. So Sejuani does get locked in for Sybil. Final pick for AV. Top lane pick for series.
Kled. Give me Kled. I just read it on his lips, Fish. Give me Kled, he says. I think it's Jarvan top lane. Just give me Kled.
Oh, he's ready. Let's see if Sin do flex it top side. Not a good matchup for Jarvan. Juves has played at all the games in the jungle.
Yeah. I think that they just take Shen. I've got a lot. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. Shen,
Both
damn it.
Shen and Jax have decent matchups into Kled. They do go for the split pushing pick for Dokla.
Makes sense. I mean, they've realized that, hey, if FBI dies, we need something to happen somewhere else.
All right, so we normally see two variations of Protect the Puppy.
Raise the puppy, yeah.
Yep, either full protection or 4 threats. This is a hybrid. We've got a Jax and then 2 protecting champions.
The other weird thing is that none of them actually give Cogmore anything damage-wise.
No.
Not saying that Cogmore needs something damage-wise, because he does a lot of damage by himself, Fish. However, you're used to seeing like a Karma or a Lulu or something like that, even not really Janna historically. I'd say Karma or Lulu are the 2 big ones, or something like a Morgana that gives him like the ability to be CC immune. Right now, what's going to happen is everyone's just going to jump on top of FBI. Ryoma's going to fly on top of him. Braum's going to stand in front of him. Jarvan's probably going to Cataclysm somewhere near him. And then Blinky's going to just sit there and mow people down. FBI's going to sit there and mow people down. And they're going to hope that somehow Triple doesn't kill FBI. Because if he does, that's game. Like, that is completely over for Sin. They don't have the damage to be able to take out Blinky without the Cogmore. So it will be very interesting to see how that man on your screen is able to access the backline.
Let's see if he can. I saw a tweet when we went upstairs and it said, you know, it wouldn't be a Gauntlet game if Sin weren't trying to take it to game number 5. But AV, they want to end it right now. 3-1. Yes, they couldn't back up all the trash talk in Week 8, but it wouldn't matter if they eliminate Sin in the first Gauntlet match.
Who knows? I mean, they beat him twice in the regular split last split Fish and then lost in the Gauntlet. Maybe they just like, we've seen how this happens. We don't want to do it again. That is a game we have to lose to win the grand final. Have you heard that saying?
Oof. Yes.
There we go.
Let's see if it's going to happen. Sin. They want to cement themselves as a top 3 team. They represented Oceania at Rift Rivals and had a fantastic showing.
Did us damn proud. This series aside, Sin at Rift Rivals did Oceania incredibly proud.
And since then, picking up games against the top teams, they defeated the Chiefs. Took games off Legacy, I believe.
No, defeated Legacy.
Defeated
2-1.
Legacy.
Lost against Divals, but it was 1-2.
So they've looked on the rise, Sin, and an elimination, knocking them into 5th place, split 2 of the OPL, that would be devastating.
Yeah, that's not good enough for Sin, unfortunately. However, that would be jubilation if you are AV or an AV fan. That's definitely a mace. Tally, Carbon, I don't want to hear it. That Jack skin has a mace. It's a different skin.
Where is he? What the?
That is a stick with a ball on the end. To me, that is a mace.
You telling me that's not a real weapon?
That is a real weapon. All these new Jack skins actually have real weapons.
Disgusting.
It's a little bit of a shame. I agree.
I wonder why
he should have used the one with the other thing, the halberd or whatever, because it's good at knocking people off mounts, apparently. If they lose this game, I know what I'm blaming.
Goodness. They need a pool party Jack skin.
Do they?
They need one. Get a
Why?
wet noodle. That's not a real weapon.
No, wet noodles hurt. That is a real weapon. I disagree with you. If someone runs up a wet, like, those things cane. I grew up with a pool at my house and 3 really annoying brothers. Let me tell you, Fish, those things bloody drill.
Well, we do have the puppy in the bottom lane. Oh.
Hey, Fish, what's Pugmore's favorite item?
What is it, Swan?
Bork.
Now I really hope FBI doesn't buy one.
I hope he does. I hope he rushes the bork.
Well, he's going to spit at Blinky for a while here as Rogue and Jake.
Tango.
Just get a bit of a support or comeback.
It actually looks like Jake runs Bandit. I don't know if Blinky did, because I saw Tango go up over Jake's head, but I didn't see it go up over Rogue's head.
We'll see when FBI kills the next minion.
Yeah, one hasn't died. I was waiting.
Get it. FBI! Hit them!
Is he out of range? No,
he does have Bandit.
All right. I would have been really surprised if he didn't, because you just miss out on so much gold without it.
There's not much else you can take in that tree, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, sure you can.
Besides Bandit?
Yeah.
You get, Dangerous Game, is it?
Extra damage from brushes.
Greenfather's gift bomb. Yeah. Let's go. Sybil is going to take some damage from Juves here. Level 3 against level 2. Knocks down the passive of Sichuani.
Yeah. Surge is actually jungling really slowly here. And Juves, I think this is a great play from Juves. Continues the aggression. Tommy goes a little bit aggressive onto triple.
Here goes Juves. Going to find Sybil again. Flash over the wall. Forces the summoner spell very late. That's game. Two games in a row, sorry, that Juice has been aggressive against Sybil.
Certainly is, and now all of a sudden, Juve's leashing up 2 camps, but it's not going to matter. He's going to be able to steal away this blue buff. If he gets an extra camp on top of it, Fish, if he takes Gromp or Wolf, Sybil is in a world of hurt. This is not the first time a jungler has done this against Sybil, by the way. We have seen Shern go up like 100 CS over the man. Ooh, ooh.
Series finds him, bear trap on a rope, flag, drag, gets him out. Good timing.
Got the flag, drag
Juves.
combo correct this time. Goes E, then Q. Not Q, then E.
Oh, that's how it works.
Yeah. Otherwise, double buffs on series would have been an absolute terror. You can see he's already got a little bit of an advantage up here in the top lane, Fish. Not CS-wise, but at least in regards to the push. Ooh, Dokla goes aggressive. Very nicely done.
Might be able to dismount him here. Does. That is hilarious. Meanwhile, Blinky taking a lot of damage. Jake now getting locked down by the Brawn passive. Can't get that last auto attack. Winter's Bind not going to connect either. Yeah,
so actually a pretty even trade, you have to say, in the end. It looked like the supports just ran past each other at the 80 carries. I love lanes where this is kind of how it works out. You can see they're going for it again.
Rogue's tagged. Blinky gets the Winter's Bind as well. Throws a tennis ball at him. It's fine.
Is that what it is?
I'm pretty sure that both his Q and his E throw tennis balls.
That makes sense. He's a pug.
Why is he eating the tennis ball?
Well, Cogmore eats everything.
But he's a puppy right now. Blinky. Gonna get locked up. No, it's not tennis ball. I thought it was.
What is it?
So it's just the E. Just looks like a ball of spit. Meanwhile, Series gonna get taken a lot of damage. Dokla solo kill top lane.
Very big play out of Dokla. That is a huge minion wave crashing, and Series played it a little bit too aggressively. Generally, if you're in range and there's that big of a... Sorry, in range. Generally, if you're dismounted and there is that many creeps heading towards your turret, you just back off. Definitely not the case that time from Dokla, from Series. See whether that actually becomes a big factor as this game progresses, Fish.
Now Series forced to blow flash and teleport. Dokla did teleport back into the lane early.
Ah, that makes sense.
So he had an item advantage. We'll walk back now, but he'd be happy to do so.
Yeah, it certainly will.
Very early Vamp Scepter this time. Not going to go for the Trinity Force we saw Series pick up last game.
Yeah, it must be the trading patterns you would have to expect. Generally, if you go for Vamp Scepter, it means that you have really quick scuffles followed by, you know, lots of hitting creeps in between. And if that is the case, then it's a very worthwhile item to be able to pick up. You can see Ryoma isn't actually winning this lane, but is pressuring Triple enough that Triple isn't really extending his creep lead by all that much.
Ryoma used early teleport back into the lane as well, as you expect in mid laners with teleport.
You're allowed to do that when you're melee. Trust me, that's not cheating.
Yeah.
On a ranged champion like Hawkeye, absolutely cheating. You should not be able to do that. In fact, I think one of the nerfs to teleport should be that ranged champions get a penalty for using it.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal opinion, because I think it is very boring when ranged champions take TP.
Thank goodness the teleporting to turret thing was taken
off. There we go.
Big early fight bottom lane. Both Jake and Blinky flashing away.
That's
Ryoma.
Respect shown right there. They time it very well, that gank, with the recall that was coming out of Triple, so they knew there was no way you could shove in or take an extra creep wave, something like that. So double flash burnt for just Rogue's flash. See with ultimate whether that becomes a factor. However, the Kalista is farming much better than the Cogmore in this lane. Up a full creep wave Fish. Top side of the map. Series has actually done okay to catch up in creeps.
Yeah. This will
just shouldn't have died.
I was going to say that would be him catching up to 46, but he misses that one. Don't miss anymore. But should be fine. He is slightly behind in gold, but very difficult
turret
for
shots
to
help
trade.
out with that.
Yeah. Fortunately, Counter-Strike can't block those either.
Yeah. There's an old saying, Fish, no matter how far ahead you are, you still don't beat the turret. Actually, that's not a saying at all, but, you know.
Eventually, Jax beats all turrets.
Does he?
Well, normally that's how Jack's games ends. He's smacking down Nexus turrets.
That's true, but it's not a one-on-one. He brings creeps with him.
True. That's a chunk of damage. Ryoma uppercuts his way away.
Doesn't use the Gentleman skin, the Debonair, which is a little bit strange. Wonder if that has anything to do with his and Chief Swiffer's fondness of talking about which skins they are allowed to play. You can see top lane, Dokla looks like he's about to dive Series again.
Series is about to get this mounted, so it'll be a good time.
Jarvan's about to head up there as well, Fish. Bear Trap on a Rope does sick deeps.
If you can get the second proc, yep, it's easy to break. Juice is now making his up. Actually, second spawn time of blue. He has this down.
Oh, he fumbled the ward.
Wouldn't have
That's
mattered.
not
There's a
good.
control ward there. Would have just blocked it.
Yeah, but at least he would have known.
Scar ran away. Meanwhile, Series fancies his fight against Doka.
That's a better... So when you get dismounted, but you have your W available, Fish, you move deceptively quick and do a lot of damage. You also have to be able to last hit to get back on your mount. Won't be able to do that. I think he should have pushed up the next wave.
Scar!
Yeah, I definitely think he should have pushed up that next wave. But plays it very safely. So doesn't greed over the creeps. Juves, the mastermind, actually has clear vision of the blue buff being taken because of that ward in the back of the blue buff pit.
600 IQ play.
600 IQ ward right there.
So he gets a third respawn time before their board.
He's actually had a pretty good early game again. And like normally, the reason we keep bringing it up is when Sin historically have played poorly, a lot of it has been attributed to Juves. Not necessarily by us, but just by people in general. And I think that this series, they've looked not great, but they're still Juves playing well.
He collapses on the triple, forces his flash. Cataclysm comes out, big taunt from Ryoma, throws the ultimate Juves.
Here we go.
He might fall, he does, but the Winds of War pick up another kill.
Stun gonna be there as well.
Blicky comes out too, ultimate will come out from Ryoma, but gets cancelled by Jake. And it's gonna be a 2-kill trade here. 1 for the son of AV, 2 picked up there, 2 deaths for Sin.
Somehow top lane series took that poor of a trade again, Fish, that he had to
Teleport
immediately go home and teleport back. However, now Sybil without ultimate has been cut off.
He's on the wrong side of the map, but he's
Dosey
going to charge.
Look at that. Ring around the rosy.
And simple.
And you can see that it looked like Dokula burnt 1 charge of a corrupting potion. That's all it took for him to be full health. So I don't know what Series did, but whatever it was, certainly wasn't conducive to a winning lane.
Yeah, mistakes were made, unfortunately. Dokula's going to be just fine up here. The Vamp Scepter helps him heal back up nicely too. There you go, trading on top of Series straight away. Pops the Counter-Strike, gets the stun as well.
Yeah, Series gave it to him. Walked back into range of that. Series hasn't gone refillable either. So I think I've seen him use about 4 or 5 potions so far, Fish.
They stack up.
It's about 250 gold. So he's nearly on his way to the corrupting.
Dokula has 1 charge of his own corrupting potion. Series slowly healing up. Dokula is doing absolutely fine in this lane, as you'd expect in the matchup.
It was his counter pick, to be fair, so let's call a spade a spade. However, did not expect it to be this hard of a win for Dokula on the top side of the map. So everywhere else is very heavily in AV's favour. However, Dokula has probably got himself a 1,000 gold lead, which is keeping them very even in the game.
700 up. Jungle's 100 in favour of Sybil, 200 in favour of Triple. Bottom lane though, Blinky with that kill. He is getting close to 900 up over FBI.
However, hasn't chopped yet, so that is why the trades are still going relatively even. As soon as they get that first chop in, you would expect Blinky to just be full health at all stages in this lane and be able to trade very efficiently. Oh, that's 3 spears. He didn't get the rend in time.
But you can see a couple of items have been picked up now.
So I don't know if people know about that mechanic, Fish, so let's talk about it quickly.
The spear throw?
Yeah, so what happens is if you Q something and it dies, all of the spears that were in that something is transferred as Jake runs into the jungler, potentially kill here.
That's Juve's dead. He just
gets the Juve's combo again.
Oh, that's not great.
Doesn't EQ. That one's a little bit harder because you're being knocked away from your pole. So, did I explain that well enough? I think I did.
Yep. It's really well used, well played by Blinky to get that off onto FBI there, but couldn't get the rend.
There we go.
Right
there. So you can see that one there. 2 spears end up in FBI instead of the 1 of the Q, because there was already 1 in that creep. Cool little mechanic. I've seen people get 1 shot when they try and steal Barons.
Oof.
And they've smited too early, and then Callista Qs through the Baron, all the spears go into the person, and then boom, Fish. But right now, Series is playing the top lane as well as you can. If my bottom lane is winning this hard, sometimes I don't even go to lane, Fish.
Just go bottom lane?
Yeah, sometimes I just run around the jungle for a little bit. Wait for the creeps to be right at my turret before I go for it.
Oh,
Blinky's in trouble.
Lots of trouble. Stun locked by Rogue. Throws out the ultimate backwards as well. Exhaust being used. Jake forced to use his own ultimate. He'll get stun locked. Sybil is making his way down, so AV can turn this one around.
Still come, Sybil.
Face call is available. They're going to try and turn this one around. Flashes on top of him. FBI will get away, but Rogue has to try and jump out. Good stun from Jake. Heal will come out from FBI.
So all of the summoner spells used bottom lane. What looked like it was going to be a great advantage for Sin actually turns around a little bit because of Sybil's positioning and the overzealous chase. They could have backed off at any point they wanted their Fish, and it would have been much more advantageous. However, now with Jarvan heading down.
Woof, woof. Woof.
Two.
Oh, one more. That's going to execute. Doesn't have the mana to do so, but Jarvan goes in. Come on and slam. Ryoma will follow up as well. Knocks up Sybil. He's going to fall. Juve's not even taking the time. Oh, no, Juve's. No, don't die. Not like this.
So a 1-for-2 trade in the end. However, fantastic play out of the bottom lane of Sin, really bringing that one back from the brink. We talked about the fact that Blinky had not shot for such a long time, Fish. And you could see the item discrepancy right there was just too much and wasn't able to take it. Now Teleport coming back into the mid lane from Ryoma. He's down massively in creep, but really playing the team game with these ultimates.
Yeah, he's about 25 CSR down. Has an adaptive helm though, and I'm just going to do this forever. Triple's like, you
zones him
heard
away
a little
from
bit.
the cannon. That was what that one was about.
This is my minion. Oh. Misses that one though.
See Jake had already marched mid lane. They're trying to pick on Ryoma, however, not working all that well anymore.
So Wits End Rush coming out from FBI. Adaptive Helm from Ryoma, so we're not going to see the damage Galio that we saw in the EU LCS.
Yeah, what did we see? We saw Abyssal Mask into the Leandru's Torment, I believe, Fish. Did they do damage?
Abyssal's Mask?
No, I know Abyssal Mask does. It gives you 10% bonus magic damage, right? But I'm saying, does that build make you do a significant amount of damage to not be tanky at all? That's my question.
I think if you can get a couple of combos off, it would.
Yeah, potentially.
Trading your extra crowd control for being alive a bit longer for the extra damage.
Yeah.
It paid off in their team comp. They only had one damage threat, so Galio definitely helped out.
Yeah, in that situation, I can understand it. Just curiosity. Top lane, you can see another little scuffle going down on your mini-map. Dokler gets the best of that one again. Feel like I keep saying that, Fish, and this top lane turret will eventually fall due to these little scuffles.
Doug explained this matchup well. Series, he's doing all right. As we said, this is a matchup that Kled doesn't do too well into. He's okay.
Yeah, it should be fine, right? It shouldn't, like, it's not great, but...
It's not solo kill.
It's not solo kill. It's definitely, like, if the CS discrepancy was there and a little bit of the push, I would be like, this is what I expect. I did not expect the solo kill. And I'm not... Third teleport back top lane.
Ugh.
If his bottom lane dies here, it is solely on his shoulders.
Yeah, and Sinner clearing out Ward's bottom lane as well. So, Dokler can make a play. Jax is very underestimated in these teleport flanks.
Yeah, certainly is. Has the immediate crowd control effect that can come out. See, Juve's down bottom side has been caught on a ward. However, there is a potential, if you are Sin, that you can get 5 people down here. You know, you can get the Jax down, you can get the Galio with the ulti. They've already got a lot of magic resistance built up, you know, Wits End as well as Adaptive Helm. So right now, Tommy probably isn't going to be one-shotting anyone. And because Dokler is just not being challenged for anything, he has a push even when Series immediately teleports back to the lane.
Sybil making his way into the mid lane.
Seems like the only person Sybil wants to kill is Ryoma for some reason.
Ryoma having a much better game here. Uh-oh. Dokler. Counter-strike. Gets the stun through the dash. Can't dismount him. If he dismounted there, that could have been a kill.
But still, I want to, like, how is Series... Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just such a one-sided Jax matchup. But they're going to go for a dive right now.
Ooh. Dismounts him. Counter-strike comes out. Forces the flash. Follows through. Well played by Dokler. But the remount! Can he get it? He cannot! Take it down by Dokler.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's Dokler without a shop. He must be sitting on so much gold right now, Fish. 2,000 gold he's sitting on. He's down 1,000 gold, and he is absolutely destroying Series.
AV take that time while Galio was top lane to work on the mid lane outer turret. Ryoma finds Sybil. Triple as well as Jake try to collapse. One thing I really like about Dokler though,
he's 2,000 gold up. He's a monster. This game right now, 300 gold in Sin's favor. 2,000 of that
Ugh.
Let's just think about that. 2,000 of a 300 gold advantage is on their top laner right now.
Oh, boy. I mean, one thing I like about Dokla, he's very creative with his item builds. Tank-on-tank matchups, even if you're Jax very early on, once you get lifesteal, you win. Because the damage is so low coming out from series, theoretically, that he just sustains back up. Picked up an early Vamp Scepter, he's like, I'll sit on that, goes Trinity Force next.
Yep. Now you really have to question the Kled, because you understood where it sat in the comp, but series doesn't look confident on it, Fish.
Oh, he needs to charge somehow.
Yeah, and if you're not confident on a player in a deciding on a pick in a deciding game, probably not the best time to bring it out. Meanwhile, however, credit where it's due. Bottom lane of AV is 40 CS up as well, so everything that Dokla is doing is kind of being reciprocated on the bottom side of the map.
Mid lane outer turret is going to fall as well if AV get a good push going.
Yeah, I mean, Ryoma gets to leave one more time, right? It's kind of like the Talia effect if you stay home versus her. Jake gets stunned up, might actually die.
Fate's call, pulls him out. He's good.
Yeah, they're just going to be able to clear this wave up, and then they'll get a recall in. Looks like it fits. But still, when you're up by 1,000 gold, you don't want to be burning ultimates willy-nilly for absolutely no reason. And Dokla, he fancies himself a Rift Herald sneak this time around. Can he get it quickly enough? He's
told Juice, I've come to Australia, and now I am the jungler. You go top lane.
Can he get it quickly enough? When does it despawn, Fish? Is it 10 seconds before?
I think it's a little bit longer if you have aggro, so you will be able to get it. I can't remember exactly how long. Despawns if you're not hitting
Must
it
be
10
5
seconds in.
seconds before.
You get a little bit of extra time. Gets it. So big play by Dokla.
Yeah.
He's going to be an even bigger split pushing threat.
First Rift Herald of the series has been picked up for Sin.
Now he needs to make Rift Herald dance. That'll make my day. I don't think we've seen that in competitive play yet.
I don't think we have either. Of course, for those that don't know what the heck Fish is talking about, if you win a game with Rift Herald still alive, Rift Herald dances for you.
Make him dance.
Her.
Her.
It's a her, Fish.
I'm sorry.
And this isn't one of those times where someone called Rift Herald a dude, where it can be gender neutral. This is, you called it a him. So I'm allowed to point out that it is a female.
No, I called Rek'Sai him in the game. Juice picked it up, and our producer, I'm going to say kindly, told me I was wrong.
That makes sense. You were wrong.
I was wrong. Dokla's going to... He just doesn't take damage anymore. He's just life-stealing away all the bear traps
This
on
could
the
be
rope.
the first team fight that we see, however, Fish. You can see they've started up the Dragon. They've lost priority over bottom lane wave as well. Ooh. And Rift Herald is going to be popped. Series could have charged into him. Could have bear trapped on a rope him.
Didn't.
Didn't. So now probably going to lose a tier 2 turret for his trouble.
Not so much the charge damage. That will help coming out from Harold, but as soon as that's taking aggro, Dokla's just going to free hit the turret. In fact, goes for the kill. Good night, Series. You're dead.
Series is getting monstered in this game.
Harold's going to charge on
and
towards
his team's just letting him get monstered as well, Fish. Dokla should die here. Has no ward.
Flashed on, throws out the ultimate, but Galio as well as Counter-Strike. Well played.
Yeah, it certainly was. And off the back end of that, they are going to be able to pick up bottom turret. So now meaningful advantages picked up all across the map because of Dokla's, just prowess on this champion.
Teleport onto that cannon minion stops the wave pushing towards the low health turret. And Roma saves it for another day. Now, Sin have the lead spawn. We've been here before. Somewhere along the lines.
They've got 3 turrets, however, Fish. They're definitely not that amount of gold up.
According to the script I've been given, though, eventually AV pull this one back, send us to game 5.
Yeah. AV pull it back and send it to game 5? I mean, if AV...
That's wrong. AV pull it back and win.
They just win in 4. I hate to break it to you. Anyway, so we can see that the Cosmo's still behind. You can see that mid lane's still behind. Jungle's still behind. Support slightly up because of a couple of assists as well as the turrets. But really, this is a big advantage. And they're actually just going for a Baron, Fish.
Not spotted out.
Not
no
yet.
pings. That gets taken out really fast.
They're going to get the flower, however.
They'll see it now. That's at half health, so not too bad for Sin, but they have to react now.
They can get the team fight here. I mean, this is desperation from AV. They must think they're so far behind, and they're really not.
Here comes Dokla. This is a disaster. AV are going to fall one by one. Give him a real weapon, but it doesn't matter. Big taunt. The puppy's unlocked. Gets another kill, and Blinky is left alone, being chased down by the Pugmore as well as Galio.
And AV, for some reason, have just started up a Desperation Baron when they were down by 2,000 gold, and they might have just thrown this game, Fish.
Potentially, Baron to Sin now, 23 minutes in. No contest, no smite from AV. With a Cogmore.
I mean, maybe they just throw it back, right? How long does it take for Series to get into this fight? Can Ryoma actually get there? Nah, he doesn't even want anything to do with it. He's just said, let's go. We're probably now going to go to game number 5 because AV, I don't even know why, Fish. I can't begin to think why you stay on that Baron after that plan is hit.
Oh.
They could have just successfully disengaged. They got the teleport, they got everything they wanted. FBI sitting there free-hitting. Doppler comes in, gets a flash of Blinky, and from there, I mean, Triple didn't even get to enter the fight. Triple's already turned around and just said, you know what, guys, it's just not worth it. We've already lost down on this one. Blinky will eventually get chased down and die, give over Baron. It was a 2,000 gold lead. That was all it was, Fish, and they've just made it 6,000 and a Baron.
It was a 2,000 gold lead with Doppler having a massive advantage, which means technically, if AV picked a team fight, Doppler's not as impactful a series, so to speak, in the rest of the map. But now that's broken into a 6,000 gold lead in favor of Sin. Yep, marching through mid lane. Doppler's trying to split push. He's going to go into a 2-on-1.
He's probably going to win it.
Series taking a lot of damage. Dismount comes through. Oh no! Not like this! Not again! Sybil's forced to charge away. Make it stop. Make it stop. Tubes taking a lot of damage. The Pugmore wants to stun. Can't get it.
I mean, I honestly don't know what to say, Fish.
Ooh, that hurts. Sybil needs to be careful there. Yes, they lock down Ryoma. They get the stun. Counter-Strike still ticking through all the crowd control. Triple does show up. Kills Doppler, but look at mid lane. Turrets are falling. Ryoma's still fine. We'll try and flash over this wall. Fate's call into a wall from Jake. It's not what you want.
No, it certainly isn't. However, they do pick up a shutdown onto the top laner. However, it's turned into a 7,000 gold lead out of nowhere. What was an incredibly competitive game has legitimately been tossed harder than one of Pugmore's tennis balls, Fish. And they're still going. They still want to continue this kind of gameplay. This is desperation. Charging around. Dragon gives him a helping hand.
Oh, big Demacia from Juves. Locks him down. Yeah. He will die. And Sin decide they're just going to back out. Live to fight another day.
Yeah, so we'll see whether actually they take this fight because Sybil is very low mana and health, has nothing to really contribute. However, Sin, they do what they should. They back away, they give up one objective. So a couple of shutdowns coming out, but Juves just rallies the troops and says, guys, we are in the driver's seat right now. AV really need to sit down for just a couple of seconds, take some deep breaths and think, what are we actually trying to achieve with this composition? It's 5v5 team fighting. Why do we care if Series loses a split push?
Series, however, 0-5-1. Not having a great game.
He's 3 levels behind, more importantly. As well as 70 CS. And they've given up middle lane.
That's a big mistake. That's a huge mistake from AV. Series, what have you done? I understand why Skull runs away here.
Yeah, I don't blame Skull.
I don't want to fight him.
Yeah. I mean, and the problem is that Series kind of made this rod for his own back. I mean, it's not like a jungler came in and really botched a gank or something like that. This has been a 1v1 the whole time, and Series has been absolutely destroyed. Put it kindly.
Oh, Triple in trouble. FBI.
I mean, not really.
Jumped on by Jake. They try to lock him down. Good cleanse. Galio comes in as well, and FBI's allowed a free hit. Spike, drag, wants the Cataclysm. Can't get into the back lines.
Here we go.
Demacia himself by look at Doppler. Spinning right round. We'll be able to take them down if he can get unlocked. Gets one kill. Locked down. Big shields everywhere. Somehow he's alive.
But this is a problem. Look how low Doppler goes. If they had just left the game even, they would have won the 5v5 team fights. Sin run away with this one, however. Inhibitor will go down. Big stun out of Triple.
And one more Jake looking for the headbutt. Pulverize, blinking, dashing around. But the E from Cogmore delays them from pushing further. So 2 inhibitors are now down.
They have to put the shell on right now. Sin have absolutely catapulted themselves into a commanding lead. As devastating as last game was, they've now reset. They've done the right thing. However, AV need to be able to replicate it. 5,000 gold is in the hands right now of the top laner. That is an item and a half.
If you take away that,
It's a 3,000 gold game.
Yeah, and before that, they were ahead by 3,000 gold if you took away Dokla's lead.
Like what? 1,300 is on the support right now, so it's literally a 1,300 gold lead if you take away Dokla's advantage that he's generated for the rest of the map.
Not good. Series having a shocker of a game. Dokla really stepping up again. He's had, I mean, if you can call his Shen game bad, he's looked really good this entire series.
Yeah.
You can barely call it bad.
I mean, yeah, the Shen game wasn't his fault, really. He looked very mechanically on point with the Fiora last game. This game, exactly the same thing. And unfortunately for Series, I mean, I don't know what's going wrong, Finn, but something is really going wrong for the young man in the top lane. And his confidence will be shot next game.
He needs to reset. If this goes to Game 5, AV needs a hard reset against Sin because Sin are a momentum-based team.
FBI is slowly starting to climb his way back into the game as well. He's 3-0 on 4. Went down very far in laning phase. However, looks pretty good now.
But that's what you expect from the Cogmore lane, and that's kind of what you want Series to do. If Series fell as far behind as FBI, just didn't die, this game will be in AV's favor. But unfortunately not the case, as we've harped on time and time again.
I mean, there's not really all that much to talk about, Fish.
No.
Top lane is where the big gaping hole in the map is right now. And the Jax that's just pushing down it time and time again is the person that has pretty much solo carried this game.
So, Dokla's shown two really strong picks. The Jax as well as the Jays, hard carrying his team, giving Series such a tough time.
I mean, the Fiora was also incredibly impressive.
Oh, flashes on Triple's head. Here comes Galio, not going to be enough to kill him. Shutdown comes through, and the uppercut does get blocked there. Triple almost falls. Is it enough
cost,
damage?
However, because right now their last remaining base turret is under fire. Jake goes in. Is there a teleport to be had? Does not look like it.
He's the hero that AV need right now, but is he the one they deserve? Ryma jumps in, can't get the
back.
taunt. Cancels the uppercut. Series still gets dismounted, and the puppy is unlocked, spraying and praying. Turret's under fire. Triple's trying to charge back into the fight.
Yeah, and the thing right now is that someone has to go top lane and stop that base turret from going down. So you can see, is it Blinky? Is it going to be Series? There's going to be more marching in the mid lane as well. And Sin are unrelenting with their pressure. Baron's available. I think you just go to Baron because there's no way they can push out in time to really contest you there. And with Baron creeps, I don't know if there's a way that AB can contest Sin.
7,000 gold behind Sin. Cogmore at his item power spike. 3 items complete. Dokla is so far ahead. Juves is just getting Knight's Vows and as much defense as possible to make sure FBI lives.
Let's go back to the gold graph to just demonstrate this. 7,000 gold ahead. 5,000 of it is on Dokla. So there's only 2,000 gold between the rest of the team. If they get a 5-on-5 team fight and Dokla gets blown up, it's an even fight.
My goodness. It's a 1,000 gold lead for Cogmore. That's it. Sybil is ahead. Sorry, slightly behind, but Triple's ahead of Ryma.
So they just really need to turtle out this game.
Oh, AV want to fight this one.
Yeah, see whether they can get it. Dokla isn't there. They can potentially charge in.
And Sin decide, you know, we're not going to take this fight. We will play this.
They probably know that the person that's ahead is the guy that doesn't want a team fight. I mean, he probably can, because when you're 5,000 gold ahead on anyone, you can do whatever the heck you want.
Dokla's just going to go bottom now and split push.
And no one can match him, so they have to force here. They have to go in.
And they do. Charge comes out. Ultimate will come out of Sybil as well. But Rogue's still so healthy. And FBI is just over the wall, hitting everybody from AV. Series almost getting sniped up. Rogue wants to throw a punch in there as well. Ryma with the double taunt. Landing the stun as well from Dokla. Good night, AV. That's 2 people dead.
Yeah, it certainly is. And now they can continue down Summoner's Rift. Series will get the remount. However, with 2 people dead for 40 seconds, can Avant really defend here?
No Baron buff for Sin means it's a bit harder to end the game, but they still can. Trying to force towards the Nexus turrets. They want to send this to Game 5. They want to keep the Cinderella story alive. Let's see if they can. Big knockup from Jay, but look at Dokla! Where did Blinky go? He's missing! Suddenly the rest of the team's going to fall apart as well. Series goes down. FBI takes down the turret as well. That's an ace from Sid. We're going to game number 5.
We certainly are, and Sin on the back end of the biggest carry performance out of their new import Dokla will be taking us there. My goodness gracious me, I have never seen a Jax so terrifying.
And again, every time Dokla gets that pick, it's just horrifying to watch. And Series was unfortunately on the receiving end today. Game 5, down to one final match. Feel like we've been here before, Spawn.
Yeah, so do I, Fish. So do I. But not with that man. Dokler, this is going to be his first time in Game 5. He's supposed to be a rookie. He's supposed to be the one that caves under the pressure. Certainly not today.
Sin have a knack for acquiring these top laners, which just pop off during the Gauntlet runs. I mean, they had Chippies at one point, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, but that was... Chippies actually wasn't known for being a great LAN performer when he was on Sin Gaming.
Now doing very well at the dials, though. Juves, that was probably the worst game he's had this entire series.
Probably. Okay. I mean, the rest of the map lost Fish. That's why I'm in disbelief. I actually cannot believe. I always say if you're playing 1 versus 4 and the 4 is ahead, the 4 always wins. There's no situation where the split pusher gets that far out of control that they can literally take over the whole map. I was wrong. Let's just put it simply.
My goodness. AV had 2 fantastic games, pulling it back from the brink against Sin in game number 3. But 4 was a one-sided affair. Yes, it took some time, but that's just because, as we've mentioned so many times, there was one person with the goal lead.
I honestly don't know what to say, Fish. I honestly do not know what to say about that game. Well, what a standout performance.
Well, I know someone who does know what to say, and that's the analyst there, so we're going to send it back to them.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And it is a massive occurrence here at the OPL, as Jake Spontaberry just admitted he was once wrong, which is, I think, a monumental occasion. Mark it up on your watches. It is 9:02 p.m. and this, our first day of the Best of 5 Gauntlet. No, let's talk about this game. AV, unable to close out the series. It is now tied 2 apiece, and I think it's all over Twitter right now. It would not be a Sin Gauntlet without going to match 5, Tegan.
I mean, I don't even know if it's AV unable to close it as much as Dokler just putting the team on his back and just refusing to go down. Like the cast has said, he's meant to be the rookie, but here he is, just a big performance, much like their previous top laner Flares had.
Was it
all
Dokler?
Gauntlet as well.
It seems like Flares is back in Australia. I don't know.
I will say that
What's
you
with these
tweeted
NA
out,
top laners?
Tegan tweeted out, Dokler is at Flares 2.0, whatever, and then Flares just tweeted back, yeah, nah. Just...
I know. I see. He said just nah, and I was like, maybe he just meant just NA because all the American top laners are really good. That's how I tend to
They all ramp up. Like the start of the season, they're questionable, and then by the ends of it, they're at the top of the table.
Exactly. Start of the split, they've got to adjust to the heat, to Vegemite,
spiders,
to spiders,
anyway,
to snakes. Let's talk about the game.
To talk about the actual game, I think Jax Kled was heavily in Jax's favor. I knew there was a lot of top bans, and I was thinking, yes, Jarvan was flexing, so Ceres felt inclined to pick the Kled, but I knew that, Jax has been played this series, and Jax was left open, and I know Jax is a really good counter into Kled. And Dokler really just ran away with that game. He was given too much room. Solo kills, about 5 solo kills. Just a terrible game. I think, honestly, there's nothing worse. And I'm rambling, but there's nothing worse than when you're like, just one lane is just, it's just done. And
he's already died,
and you can't do anything about it. It's just a really sad situation for AV to be in.
I think what happened in the draft was they wanted to force the Jarvan into the jungle. Maybe they assumed Juves wouldn't have a good performance. He didn't really have a good performance.
He didn't. He actually didn't.
He did not. But it was just like Juves' poor performance was nowhere near as tough as what Dokler made top look like.
Yeah.
So obviously,
the Jarvan,
not the right choice.
He played the Jarvan, and we were saying this upstairs that this is probably Juves is turning up this series. Juves is having a really good series up until that game. That game, I don't know if he transferred his energy to Dokler to solo carry that game, but the guy was just struggling. The guy didn't know. He had a strong commanding level 3 push Sybil, forced his flash, took blue buff, looks pretty good, but then he just got picked over and over with flash up, and Dokler on the other side of the table was just picking up solo kills while all of this chaos was going on. So I think it was just. I don't think we're going to get a game like that again. That was too convincing coming out of Dokler, and I think Ceres will mentally reset.
I will say, before Juves just sort of got caught everywhere, all right, there were some really good early game aggression from Sin that Juves was involved with. You see him after some extended trading by the duo lane. Juves is the reason this works. He goes deep. Galio ulti gets a really nice coverage area to stop AV from it leaving, and he's influential. Sure, all right, he dies here. Didn't want to see it happen. Didn't
unfor-
happen.
it was
I actually
unfortunate.
can't see the screen. It didn't happen.
Why didn't
All
he?
right.
Why didn't he go? Why did he go back under tower then?
That's a great question.
Is that
Hingis.
the-
That's a very good question.
That's
Is
a
that
great
the-
question.
In
Very
your
good question.
analytical mind, then, why didn't he just run to the bush?
I think he assumed that he wouldn't get hit
Maybe
3
he
times.
thought Syndra was rotating, but like,
yeah, maybe.
I mean, I can go on about this now. The Galio pick was great.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of it before,
I
before
would
the game.
say comfortably that Triple is outperforming Tommy. Not like in a big way, but like just in terms of like effectiveness in the series, Triple has been doing a lot more. And I feel like them going on to the Galio is just to nullify your lane really.
Yeah.
And you could see Triple couldn't do anything. Triple couldn't do anything that lane. He had some good trading. He had some good CS, like about 2k gold up on his lane opponent, but that doesn't mean anything because you're up against a Galio.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it because I thought it was going to sort of hinder what Ryoma could do because we came into this series saying Ryoma's really good for Sin. He does quite well most games, and we saw that in the previous weeks. But when you go to Galio, it is just a pick that stops your lane opponent, and it does stop Triple.
Yeah.
And I think you were pretty much right in that if they could stop Triple, they were able to pretty much win the game. Yes, big ups to Dokla in the top lane solo carrying, but it was also Ryoma stops Triple from being effective and being able to do what he wanted to do, which was assassinate people.
I mean, the one thing that AV really, I mean, they knew they were on a time bomb was when they did that Baron call. They knew that this Jax was getting out of hand. Let's start this Baron. Very bold call. In comes the teleport. It did get picked up very late from Sin, but they just didn't have enough damage, enough spears in the Baron to finish it off. Dokla is so strong at this point. It's purely a gold lead. FBI and the entire rest of the map really was not really, didn't really have a lead. It was just that they invested so many of their resources, abilities into pushing this Baron down. But like, it's really just lost them the game. I don't know what that was, but
that was the casters getting back in there at the end.
That was the casters getting back in there. But that was really the thing that lost them the game. Jax's damage, that's a lot of damage coming out of a top laner in a split push war.
Absolutely.
Cogmore got in there towards the end, but this is a comp you don't usually see Sin run, and they played it really nicely.
I'm really happy that we saw a Cogmore pick even without a steroid support, even without the Lulu, the Janna, the Morgana, what have you, even without Ardent Saucy as you wanted to see earlier. I'm still happy they went to Cogmore, because if they're able to survive the early laning, which I feel like they will down in bottom lane, he's going to outperform pretty much anything AV can put Blinky on. It doesn't matter that it's Kalista, Xayah, Varus, whatever.
I actually don't like Cogmore into Alistar. I think Alistar can stop a lot of the burst and like sustained damage that Cog puts out. Cog was a terrible lane. Didn't really do much into the laning phase of AV. AV built up a nice lead playing the Alistar Kalista that worked so well for them in the past game. But the Cogmore did scale quite nicely. It's nice having your top laner go 6-0. So Cogmore, when he is rotating to the first team fight, really just didn't really need to perform because his top laner was already building such a lead that this guy wasn't really required to do much because this game was so much in the favor of this Jax who was essentially 1v3.
My thing is, even if Alistar gets onto him with Galio, you have a good amount of peel to get him into it, still doing damage. And if they have to dive for the Cogmore, then Jax is able to... I can't deal with this video. Sorry. Then Jax is able to deal untold amount of damage to the backline. So they did have sufficient peel to deal with that engage.
But that to me seems like this series in a nutshell for Sin, right? So Sin coming into this were very vocal. They said, look, we actually can carry from any of our lanes. So if Tommy is, like you said, not performing as well against Triple as he might have expected to, then they move to Doglet, then they move to their AD carry, right? So that's kind of what they're doing. Whereas AV, even though they've been saying, look, no, we can carry through anyway, it's really been Triple who has been popping off in this series.
I think it's really nice to see, because we harped on a lot how Sin is a bot-centric team, but like this guy, Doc, I mean, he literally just showed that, that like,
1v9.
Sin isn't a bot lane team. Like, he played Trundle into Legacy, solo killed Tallywhacker a bunch of times, and now he's playing into Series, and you can just see, if he's given a good matchup, can literally solo carry the game. Like, it's just solo queue game. And
I guess
know.
moving into Game 5, right? This is the final game of the series. The winner of this will go on to face, speaking of Legacy, they'll go on to face Legacy tomorrow. I want to get your thoughts on who's got the momentum now, because AV had two pretty good games in the middle there, but that came from? Does Sin have the momentum, or is it just Dockler?
I don't think they do.
There's one really important thing is, after a game like that, with Sin having side selection, do they go red side and give top canopy
That's another thing. They're game 5. They're allowed side selection. But to answer your question, I don't actually think Sin would have... I mean, you saw on the cameras at the end there. They are... Juve's not happy with his performance.
No.
Same as Tommy. Same as the bot lane. Really, like, Dockler was the only one. And that really carried them through that game. So, I mean... Do you expect this guy to solo carry you again? You would expect your teammates to step up, but I wouldn't say momentum is on their side. I would say that AV are in a hard place at the moment. That is a really tough loss when it just comes down to one of your lanes getting stomped that hard. But I think that just comes down to having a nice draft. It's unfortunate they don't have side selection. We'll probably see Sin pick red side, so if they can get
So Sin have picked red side, so they're going to get counter pick.
There you go. So they're going to go for counter pick. Get Dockler and Jax again. You know, this is what they're looking at. And I think they're going to be looking at getting Galio. Nullifying triple is a key. They banned Corki, Lucio in that game. They'll probably do the same thing.
I think if they're going to go Galio again and look to nullify him, I want to see something like Lulu, Janna, Morgana then. They've shown they're willing to play Kog'Maw and play that sort of style. And I think when you said you didn't like it into Alistar, I do agree. Alistar's generally going to give you a hard time. Give the Kog'Maw something that can help you peel and play back through that bot side. Because while they might not have momentum, they might not be as confident as they should be, Kog'Maw still dealt almost as much damage as the Jax that game. It's something we're glossing over because of how good of a performance Dockler had. But if they can give FBI the tools that he needs in Galio mid, potentially Shen top, probably not, and maybe a support that gets Uncensor, I don't see a way AV will beat them.
I've actually just figured out why Sin are winning games now.
Oh, here we go.
And
I hope AV are listening.
Here it is. So the only way AV have won their 2 games tonight have been off misplays from Sin. Am I right? Yeah, I think I am right. So Sin are now picking Kog'Maw. They're picking champions that scale, and they're not necessarily trying to make too many proactive plays. But I think this is what Sin are latching onto. They're latching onto scaling. They know that, like, we don't necessarily need to make plays. Like, we can pick scaling compositions. Our top lane is performing hot at the moment, and they pick the Kog'Maw. I think they're going to go to a same composition that we just saw.
I think it comes down to a thing between errors and unforced errors, right? Is it because Sin are making mistakes, or is it because AV are forcing them into those mistakes? That's a question we have to be asking ourselves.
It's both. It's definitely both. You don't want to. I definitely don't want to discredit AV's performance. They've turned up really well this series.
So can I get final predictions from you guys as we go into this, the 5th game of the series? The winner of this game will go on to play the Chiefs tomorrow. The winner of that series will play Legacy the day after that. So, T-Gun, I mean, you've seen 4 games now. These sides are locked 2 apiece. Who's going to take out Game 5?
I'm sticking with Sin because I think they might beat the Chiefs, and then Chiefs will be 4th again, and that just makes me really happy.
I'm going to say AV because I think
You're
AV...
a flip-flopper.
Am I?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I think AV can pull it back.
Yeah?
They've proved up. They've impressed me today. I think they can pull it back.
Oh, hashtag Sin win if you are watching at home and you want them to win. Hashtag AV win if you want to see AV take Game 5. Get on Twitter, hashtag I'mAPL. Let all your mates know. It is time for us to get into our 5th game of the match. Let's check out some highlights from game number 4.
Goes in! Come on and slam! Ryman will follow up as well. Knocks up Sybil. He's gonna fall. Juve's not even taking the time. Oh no, Juves. No, don't die. Not like this! Here comes Dockler. This is a disaster. AV are gonna fall 1 by 1. Give him a real weapon, but it doesn't matter. Big taunt. The puppy's unlocked. Gets another kill. And Blinky is left alone. He's taking a lot of damage. Dismount comes through. Oh no! Not like this! Not again! Sybil's forced to charge away. Demarcy yourself by look at Dockler. Spinning right round. We'll be able to take them down if he can get unlocked. Gets 1 kill, locked down, big shields everywhere, and somehow he's alive. And FBI is just over the wall, hitting everybody from AV. Series almost getting sniped up. Rogue wants to throw a punch in there as well. Rymo with a double taunt, landing the stun as well from Dockler. Good night, AV. That's 2 people dead. Big knockout from Jay, but look at Dockler. Where did Blinky go? He's missing. Suddenly the rest of the team's gonna fall apart as well. Series goes down. FBI takes down the turret as well. That's an ace from Sid. We're going to game number 5.